it's Lachey. Today we're going to be doing a kind of quick get to know me because I realized even in all of my time of going on and off of YouTube that I've never done one, and I wanted to, like, I'm a very impulsive filmer. I wanted to do a get to know me. And I know people normally ask the people on their Instagram or on YouTube, like, hey, ask me questions, but I don't really feel like I don't have anyone on YouTube who would do enough. Although I love my 4 supporters, thank you. And anyway, Pinterest exists, and I decided to look things up. So we're gonna do a couple of rapid fires. You're gonna get a little bit of like my personal get to know me's and a little bit bookish, and we're gonna mix it in, and that way you have a little bit more of an idea of like if we are compatible, if we're bookish movie friends. Okay, so first things first, my name is Lachey. Hey, it's Lachey, and that's actually my middle name. I feel like for my first name, I had like such a hate to love relationship, and now it feels so sacred that I kind of just like my family to know it. So, I mean, maybe one day you'll get to know it, but for now, Lachey feels really good, and that's my middle name. The next question is, what is your sign? I am a Virgo sun, a Aries moon, and a Libra rising. So just a lot going on. I also have mostly fire placements, in case anyone wanted to know. What is my relationship status? Status? My relationship is single. I am single. I have never been romantically in love. I don't feel like I've gotten less out of life because of it. And I have a like video idea for talking about love coming from my perspective, considering like I've never centered romantic love, especially I've never experienced it, so I can't and I don't really center it and my perceptions of love. If you guys want that video, let me know. Here are 3 bookish things I love and 3 things in my real life that I love. 3 bookish things I love. I love when a series has the numbers on the outside of the book. I need that, and it's beautiful to me, and it's important. Okay, another thing that I love in the bookish world is, I mean, I love when an author highlights side characters. Like there are things happening with the main characters, and then you get to a slight glance or something in the background, and there's like a love story of these side characters in a fantasy series. Like I don't even ever, like you never get to center them, but it happens, and it just means the world to me. I love that. The third bookish thing that I really love, I love a good metaphor for feelings. I love flowery language. I know a lot of people are like, oh, the book was too descriptive, like hyper descriptive and flowery. I love that. I love that. I've read enough books now because of my Junie B. Jones days, and it's sort of reading that people are sad isn't deep enough for me. I think that there's a lot of sadness, and there's levels to this. So I want to hear how dark it is. I want you to take away color or describe that for me, or describe that the anger was tumultuous like the ocean. Like everyone knows what it's like when the tide is trying to rip you out. Even if like you're shocked and they describe it that way, if you describe feelings in line with nature, gorgeous. The 3 things in life that I really love: the world. I am in love with Earth, and I am in love with all of the countries and all these towns and these secret little things. There's like trees I haven't met that I'm like obsessed with, and like the ocean, and I love the world. I love my family. I really, really do. I love you guys. And the last thing that I really love is the ocean and the moon. I'm just the girl who's gonna be like, that's the moon. I have said for years that the moon is like my best friend. I love her. It's great. 3 upsetting things. Okay, bully romance. I hate you. It just doesn't, there's no backstory that's gonna make me come back to thinking that this love is worth it. And I don't mean like meanwhile, my favorite trope is enemies to lovers. Okay, it's my favorite trope. But bully romancing, and it's normally a guy to a girl, is literally making them cry or afraid, and then we turn that into romance, and I'm like, we lost the plot. Like, I hate it. And I've read like 2 just to be like, well, maybe, no, I still hate it. No. Yeah, I don't like it. I was about to say I read an MLM where I liked it, but it was still enemies to lovers, and it was mafia, and it was an assassin. So it kind of like, it's different. Enemies to lovers is very different than bully romance. I just don't like bully romance. Other upsetting thing for me, if you don't put the numbers outside of your series and I'm opening it and I'm reading it, I hate that a lot. I hate insta-lust at this point, and basically I prefer, or I wish 90% of it was like slow burn. I don't like when a book is like, I saw him and he was the most attractive thing I'd ever seen. I saw her and she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. And it's like, but what else? I would prefer if the person was average. And like, meanwhile, the woman has to talk herself down and she's like, I was average. My waist was not too wide, or, you know, my tummy was soft and it had curves. And it's like, I want your souls to fall in love. Do you think I care that you think he's hot? And not every man that you fall in love with, he cannot be 6'5" and have a six-pack. I personally, and I go to the gym, have not met many men at all who are 6'5" and have a six-pack. Like, I want more average people in books and older, but perhaps that's because I'm 29 now, so I want people to be older. 3 things that upset me in real life are starvation, any type of starvation. Obviously food, there's enough resources on the planet, no one in the world should be starving, and it's always upsetting to me to think about how many people do, but also how we starve emotionally without deep relationships with people, like truly deep relationships. Like, who can you call when it's dark or sad? And I don't mean like you're dumping on your friends, but I don't like surface level. I never have. I'm not a like, I want you to question, I want us to have deep conversations. And they can also be silly. I want us to talk about if we think mermaids are real. I do. The ocean is like so huge. You're telling me mermaids don't exist? I want you to tell me about a time you thought you saw an alien. I want the weird and I want depth. And without it, it feels like we're in a supermarket. Yeah, the weather. I hate weather. I hate the weather questions. What's the other thing that I hate? Settling. I hate when people settle. I just think this life is so precious, and that people, all of you, like everyone out there, we're all so precious. And the idea of settling, discarding parts of ourselves to be accepted by society, by anyone at all, for love. In the words of my girl Alphabet, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I don't like when people settle, and it personally offends me. Always. And then unserved justice, it's a huge thing right now, and if you look at history in any direction, it's always been a thing. And the idea of people committing the deepest atrocities and sort of not being paid their due, like, if I could be an entity, it would be karma. But if there was a more aggressive, like, not just like their bag busted open, which I would be fine with being a part of that, but true karma and justice, I guess. But that's not like an entity. That's anyway. My top authors. So we'll start with romance. These are my authors that I'm like, we're locked in kind of tight. Emily Henry, Kennedy Ryan, Tara DeWitt, and I would say, I think that's it. Me and romance are kind of on a break right now, so all of this is just like remembering people I love. I think that's everyone. I think that for now, that feels good. Our fantasy authors are Rachel Gillick, Stacey McEwen. I feel like that's it for fantasy, because it's like so hard. I feel like there's not many authors who I'm like, I feel like I'm in that era of, and the train will come back, but I feel like I'm in that era of people who I really used to love, like I really used to get down with their books. I'm getting to a point of like, I'm not resonating anymore. There's something that's missing, and it's not really their fault, but I'm like stepping away from it. So yeah, I think those are the authors that it's safe to say. There's a lot of books. Oh, Saba Tahir, another great author. Love her, and I've never read anything and been like, ugh, that sucked. Really like it. And you know, I wish I could say N.K. Jemisin, but it's been one series. There's just a lot of books in the world, okay? Like, my favorite book in the world right now, I've only read one book by this author, and she has many, and I'm just afraid to touch them, because what if they're not as good? Who knows? And if you want to guess what book that is, because I've talked about it endlessly, then you should put it in the bottom. Okay, my favorite series right now, again, it's so hard. There's so many books. Like, I love The Hunger Games. I grew up on that, and like I love the Infernal Devices series so bad. Mind you, I hate the love triangle. I think it's the worst thing ever. I hate it because there's always like, it doesn't make sense to me in any book. I'm always like, you know it's him. Either it's the right guy and I'm like, it's him, or it's the wrong guy and you keep thinking about how sad and tortured he is. But either way, I'm always like, there's an obvious right answer. And when reading The Infernal Devices, I was like, ew. As soon as I didn't know it was gonna be a love triangle, okay? Because it's really not revealed until book 2. We're spending most of book 1 on Will. But then he like messes up. I'm telling you, the writing and the love and the yearning in that book, like if you do want yearning, and if you think, mind you, I hate love triangles. I've avoided it. I didn't know, or I wouldn't have started reading it. Thank goodness it slipped through. It's the most beautiful yearning. And I think what helps is that all 3 of them, and it's YA, like this is not even like a throuple, but like all 3 of them belong to each other so deeply. And I think it's said in like the epilogue or the bonus thing, like no one had ever loved anyone the way that each of them loved each other. I know that sounds like it can't be true. I promise you. And beyond the love story, there are side love stories that I literally was like every time I talk about it, I'm like, this was just magical. So Infernal Devices, personal favorite, book 2. The agony in that is crazy. It's like so high, like there's such agony. I think I was on the phone with my mom for like 20 minutes. I think I read both her, like to her and my best friend Shar. I was like, this book, like I've read pages because I needed someone else to feel it, and it's like superb. I have not read City of Bones. Amazing, amazing. Okay. Another book that I really love, another series, I forget what it's called, but it's the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by, I don't know, I'm not remember her name, by Stephanie. And also book 2, really beautiful. It is about like, and this again, one of my favorite things as well is sort of when I have a certain like prejudice. Sounds like such a harsh, just I don't prefer. I have sort of a prejudice to certain things, and then something slips through and I'm like, this is superb. All of Tara's books that are my favorite have my least favorite tropes in them. Friends to Lovers, she's made it one of my favorite, like it's one of my favorite books. And then the same goes for Infernal Devices. Love triangles, disgusting. Every time I say it, love triangle, I'm like, this is gross. When I read that book and I think about it, I'm like, this is one of the best experiences of my life. And the same goes for Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like it follows the main character whose name is Evangeline, and she is like the most hopeless romantic ever. This world is like stepping into like sort of a Barbie kingdom slash, like it's very romantic forward, and Jax is like this angry, and it's like YA, but the feelings there, and even the magic, I feel like people don't touch that kind of magic, like a dress that changes for any mood. That's like such a random magic. If you walk into certain rooms and it smells like your true love, like and the love confessions. And mind you, I waited 3 books to get 1 kiss, and this is when I was deep in my like smut era, and I was just like, this is just so beautiful. So it has to be one of my favorite series. 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin is one of my favorite series. It was such an experience. I'm not sure, I just found it at the perfect time. It's deep, it's systematic, it's amazing. I feel like even the fact that the ending is, which I don't want this to sound mean, but kind of unfulfilling, even that is magical, because I feel like I didn't get what I needed, in the sense that no one in the story does. It's an unhappy ending but filled with hope. It's the worst of humanity, but there's always just like this kernel of hope. I don't know, I want to talk to someone else who's read it, but like no one I know has. But it's definitely one of my favorite series because I ate it up. Nothing else mattered when I was reading that, and it was a great feeling. I feel bad because since that I'm forgetting a series that I really love, and I cannot think of it. So these are my favorite series, and I'm sorry to the ones that, we'll do part 2, it's fine. My favorite tropes, enemies to lovers is number 1. It just works. I think enemies or rivals to lovers, there's something about showing your ugliest parts of yourself first and slowly gaining this, even, okay, sometimes they have respect for each other the whole time, but slowly gaining this understanding of the other person, like in Beach Read. And theirs was definitely like the softest, most romantic, but misunderstanding woman, January, and the most cynical, but like hurt, soft man, Gus. Okay, there's like this line in the book, and essentially it's like she could now see that anytime he would ask her a question, like she felt before that he was like belittling her because they're different types of authors and everything. But now she saw how he like really regards people, and it was like with genuine wonder and like there's something about someone having a perceived, like a preconceived idea of who the other person is, of what this relationship is, and through time and connection, it's completely different. 12 out of 10 experience when done right. My second favorite trope, okay, I had to pull out the laptop. I hate second chance romance, by the way. Sorry, I'm like learning this. I do like reverse grumpy sunshine. There's something about a guy earning love that's always gonna work for me. I feel like because I do this, like if anyone's thinking that they got my number or my ticket on how I feel about love, you probably do. You're in the right way. I love forced proximity. It's great because like the thawing happens. I love a like who did this to you, but in the sense that like, oh my gosh, I've seen you vulnerable and I used to hate you, and it's like, who did this to you? Or honestly, someone should talk about it emotionally, because like, who did this to you? But I do love forced proximity because there's such space for thawing. Like right now I'm reading The Eternal Ruin, book 2 in the Immortal Dark series, by Tigist Guillermo, and there is it's a slight spoiler, but okay. But in saying like forced proximity, they're doing part of their schooling challenge. Oh my god, hold on, before I continue there, my third but really number 2 favorite thing is forbidden romance. That is like the top thing right now. There's something about like, I want you. That's the only, and this is why it still works with slow burn. They want each other. It is mutual as heck, and they can't because a war will break out, or like the world, I don't care. Forbidden romance is so great, but not in the kind of dark romance way, more in like the kingdoms, like Romeo and Juliet way, but put into another font, but with magic preferred. Oh my god. But anyway, where was I? Forced proximity. So in Eternal Ruin, they're all trying to gain control of their houses. There is power in your house. It's passed down from family, but you also have like the house has magic, right? And this professor is sort of like the most masochistic professor. He gives these impossible, very hard lessons, but at the same time, like they're all up for it and everything, and they're all kind of competing to be the number 1 student, and they all have drug addicts. So if you have a house, then you have vampires that go with them. These vampires feed from you. Again, vampires can only eat from certain people. There is like, they have to do a red string thing, so they have to be like a string attached to their vampire. You don't understand the hate that like book 1 these characters have. So the fact that now they have to be by each other, especially knowing what I know about where the vampire is mentally right now, especially knowing what I know about, like, it's gonna be crazy. So there's something about forced proximity. My favorite movies, I feel like, okay, the first one I'm going to say is not so much my favorite movie as a movie that I want you to know meant a lot to me when I was younger. It's not Annie, Mom. Annie's like one of my forever favorite movies. I love it. I love a musical. But one of my favorite movies when I was growing up, and I was like a movie buff and I took film very seriously. I take film very seriously, but like it was a good time for it. I love Black Swan. I just think I think I watched it at like 13. At my first watch, I hated it, which is always a good sign. If I hate something and I go back, it usually ends up being one of my favorite things. Needless to say, I went back. It's one of my favorite things. It's beautiful. It's dark. It's like womanhood. And I have always related to the sad, stressed out perfectionist Virgo sun. And Nina and her mom's relationship, and the end of the movie where she's like bleeding, but then she's dancing and the girl is dying on a bed, and she's like, it was perfect. Like, I don't know, everything about it. I love a psychological, like, it's just a very different movie, but I really love it. Another favorite movie of mine is like most anything by Studio Ghibli, but I will say I really love Howl's Moving Castle, of course. And then, oh my gosh, what is the other one called? The other one, he's a violinist and she learns about this shop, and there's like this ember inside all of us that is like our possibility for our dream life, and we have to give it all we've got. That one, I forget what it's called, but those are some of my favorite. I like Ghibli a lot. I think it's beautiful artwork. I love that it's animated. and it's deep and you can grow in it and there's always more to see. I love Interstellar by Christopher Nolan. He's one of my favorite directors ever. I think he's freaking brilliant. And Interstellar to me is such a vast, wide experience. Like, it's so vast, but it's also like the most simple part of being human, which is that love is this connecting, binding thing. If you have not seen it, I begged my family to watch it. They don't listen, but maybe you will. Interstellar, especially if you're a parent, it's everything to me. And the Grand Budapest Hotel, I love the movie. I love the symmetry. I love the color. I love the story. It's like, it's so gay, but like happy termed gay. And it is so beautiful. And yet it's like dark and there's mystery and it's funny. And again, the symmetry and the colors and the cast, it's like exquisite. I love that film. I think it's amazing. Fun facts about me. And then we're going to talk about some of my favorite albums. And then I guess favorite books, and then we're done and you know a lot more about me. My favorite albums are Frank Ocean. I just think that his album, it just is gorgeous and there's nothing that needs to be done. Like, if he never makes anything else, it's like, this is a gorgeous album. I love Bruno Mars. Specifically, I would say the Jukebox, Bruno Mars album is like amazing, but I've loved so many of them. I'm just a big fan of Bruno Mars. I love SZA. Cultural is probably the #1 for me, but I've listened to so many of them. The Partition album by Beyonce, if you were to judge me, I have a lot of music taste, but I will say, I guess, like, looking at this list when I had to write them out, it's giving like R&B, but I swear I like a lot of things, okay? Fun facts about me. Oh, I like pondering my existence. I do. I love pondering the human existence, and I think about how no matter throughout time, like, we have been under the same moon the whole time, and I think that's so beautiful. So like, I think about me and stressing about my place in the world, and sometimes there's like a little light in the back of my head that's like, once upon a time there was a girl 50,000 years ago, and she, well, how long have humans been here? Maybe not 50,000, 500 years ago, who had the same worry in that way. And I think about how interconnected we all are in a way that we'll never fully be able to grasp. And I think about how fruits and vegetables mimic like our fingerprints and like things with, I love existence. It's like, at the end of the day, life is very hard sometimes. It can get really complicated, but there's something about the human existence that I'm like, you know, when people say like, you chose to come down here and you were meant to make the world a different place, and I know a lot of people are like, I didn't choose this. Like, I didn't really want like maybe this reality, but I definitely would have chosen to experience the wonder of being in front of an ocean, like the wonder of a planet that has whales on it. And yes, I wish that sometimes reality was more like we had like dragons, which I believe in dragons. And I wish that we were nicer humans and we were in a timeline where people were better. But human desserts, magic, traveling is literally magic. The amount of, there's such beauty in existence. I don't know. I love it. So I like to ponder my existence in this world. I love skits. I'm a skitter. If you're hanging out with me and I do an accent, I would like you to jump in and we should do the skit. I don't know. And I like comedy because I love laughing. But not like stand-up haha comedy. Again, it's sort of like structured and it's like a skit. Something about it has always worked for me. Favorite food, Italian and Mexican right now, but really just about everything. Favorite celebrity crush, I don't really get crushes on real people. I don't really have them. I don't know. It's not really like I'm melting for this person. In my head, I can't get past the fact that I don't really know them. You might think you know them and you might feel connected to them, and I can be inspired by many people, but I don't know you, not in real life. I have a lot of book crushes though. Any Italian mafia man, by the way, my favorite 3 things are fantasy, in this order. Fantasy, romantasy, same thing for me, because it just depends on my mood, but both. Romance books, and then mafia. Mafia gets its own shelf in my head. Any mafia book where the guy's name is Dante, he probably lives up to a Dante. Favorite Dante ever is Dante Salvatore from the Anti-Heroes in Love duet by Gianna Darling. It's fantastic. Let me see. It says 3 things that make me happy. Travel. I love the world. I love other people's existence. I like seeing how other people live and their values and the way that they celebrate or mourn death, the way that they like, there are so many different ways to do things. Even how people name their kids, if they wait 100 days, like the support in the communities and how we do all these things so differently, and yet we're all connected. So full stop. I love a good deep conversation, and I love a good book. Like, what a wonderful life to live where I get to experience all these different like lives and values and magic systems. And I wouldn't even know to want more if I didn't read. Probably I wouldn't be like, oh, I really wish I had a sword and a dragon. I don't really want a sword and a dragon, but you get what I mean. Do I have piercings and tattoos? I have had many that I retired. I had a septum. I have my ears pierced. I have this one extra one. I had my belly button pierced. So I had 4 piercings, 0 tattoos. I have commitment issues. It's just like really scary. What if it's ugly? What if I change my mind and my aesthetic changes? And I want them, but then I'm like, no, like I'm scared. My favorite perfume, I don't feel like I've met my soulmate perfume yet. I will know. There are many perfumes that I love right now, but I don't think I have my favorite yet. It's gonna be a vanilla something for sure. And that's it. That's a little get to know me. So now you know some of the things that I like. Also, let me know what your sign is in the bottom, and your favorite book. Okay. Or series. You can choose a series. Or your least favorite trope, because we might be the same. Wherever you are in this world, I hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, night, and life. And I'll see you in the next video.